Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me on your Wednesday night. I'm sure there's lots of other things you could be doing, but you chose to jump on here, so thank you. And welcome to the Healthy Horse Chicks 30-day Wellbeing Challenge. That photo in the background there is a lovely little mare called Stormy that I met over in California last year when I was doing my equine body worker certification. So I thought I'd pop her in with her beautiful braid. Okay, so the fact is why we're all here. Horse women work really, really hard. So to just give you a little bit of background about me and who I am, in case you don't know me, my name's Fiona Migan-Philip, and I'm an equine bowen therapist and body worker. And I'm really, really passionate about the work that I do with horses. And I always have been. But in my travels and work with other horsewomen, both as a body worker and also now as a rider cleanse coach, I've noticed some really kind of scary things in horsewomen, and it's inspired me to want to pull this group together. And so the things that I've noticed is horsewomen generally aren't getting enough sleep. So, you know, I work with a lot of girls in the racing industry and they're up at 3 a.m. They're not necessarily fueling their body with the best quality nutrition. If you're on the show circuit at all, or you're competing in any kind of discipline, then that inevitably involves early starts and late nights. Or in fact, you might be someone who stables their horse in the city and works full time, just like I used to. And it means you're riding under floodlights and getting home really late and then having early starts. Or you might be a professional, an equine professional. I know that we have an equine dentist on the call tonight. So, you know, I know that the hours that you do are big, and I know that there's a lot of travel involved. So another thing that makes us really unique, I think, is that because we are moving around so much, we might have really good intentions of getting awesome nutrition into our bodies, but the fact is we often don't. So, you know, the nature of our work, meaning that we're, you know, always on the go, we're grabbing quick, easy options. And the thing that I find probably the most humorous about that side of things is that most horsewomen have a perfectly balanced nutritional plan put together for their horse, a perfectly balanced fitness regime for their horse. But when it comes to them, you know, they're reaching for quick and easy options that aren't nutritious, they're not filling them up, and they're not serving their bodies. The other thing is that we work really, really hard as horsewomen. You know, physically, it's quite a demanding job. So no matter what field you're in, you're probably compare yourself to the average non-horsewoman, you feel like you work 10 times harder in a physical sense. And the other point is that we really love our horses. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you're listening to this and you have holes in your boots, yet you've just gone and bought your horse a brand new horse rug. And I hear it all the time. So all those things together mean that we need this more than I think any other group of women. It's just so important. So I think that the results of all of this together means that we're a group of women that are often kind of tired, and you know, that can lead to us not necessarily doing the best job we want as either a professional or just, you know, a rider or amateur rider, and that can be disappointing. You know, I think from my own experience, like, I see a lot of women who have low mental clarity, and you know, that again, it's really important if you're a professional working in the field, and it's really important if you're a rider to be completely switched on and present when you're up there, especially if you're on the racetrack riding at the speeds that you do. And something else is that I've noticed is that we tend to get weight gain, that we can't really explain, because we're working so hard, our hours are long, so why have I piled on all these kilos? And we can have periods of high energy and then the low slumps, you know, the sort of 3 p.m. slumps. And probably worst of all, the biggest thing of all, is that we don't actually have a whole heap of spare time to address this problem. So we don't have time to go and join a gym and start a crazy fitness regime. We don't have time to drive 300 k's to the nearest health food store so we can stock up on, kimchi and kombucha. So I think that all of those things together make us a very unique group of women. And I felt really inspired to pull this together to address all of those issues. So what do we want? What do us horse chicks want? Here's what I think we want. I think we want ease and we want convenience. So, our nutrition needs to literally be doable on the run. And sometimes I mean like literally on the run. I think that's, a big one for horsewomen. We want something that we don't have to be close to the toilet for. Obviously we're often out in very rural environments, and you don't want to be doing any kind of cleanse or detox that's going to see you having to race off to a toilet, because often there isn't one nearby. I think that we don't want to be carrying a fully stocked esky at all times. So, we want to have something that's really quick, really easy. We can grab it and get it in our bodies. I think that also we want something that's really maintainable and gives us some wiggle room. I know that you want results that you can maintain without feeling like you're deprived. And you also want to be able to go down to the pub with your friends and have a meal and not feel like you've blown your calorie intake for the week. You want to be able to have birthday cake. You want to be able to go to Christmas parties or Melbourne Cup next week and enjoy yourself without that guilt of what it's going to do to your body. But most of all, I think that we just really want results. We want results so we can get back out there and do what we love, which is be with our horses in whatever capacity that is. So with that, I'd really like to share my story of where I began with this process and talk to you about nutritional cleansing and isogenics and how we're going to use that program in the next 30 days to help you get to your health goals. And also a little disclaimer, this is the first time I've actually shared these photographs. So I decided tonight that I was going to put myself out there and share them because I think they'll help. So you might be used to seeing me in jeans and boots, but tonight you're going to see me in all my glory. Okay, so I was in this left photo, this is before isogenics. I was an equine boa therapist, and after switching over from a corporate job to the wonderful world of horses, I found myself not able to keep up with the role. And that was really scary because for my whole life, I dreamt of working with horses, and suddenly I found myself in the position of being able to work with the horses, and I didn't actually have what it took. So I was getting tired really, really quickly, which when you're out, if there's any other body workers listening to this, you know how much energy we need. So I was getting really tired. I found myself repeating all of those patterns that I talked about earlier. So, I wasn't getting enough good quality sleep. I was eating food that was quick and convenient, but did absolutely nothing for my body. I was gaining weight, which was a big surprise going from a corporate sedentary kind of office job out into the field, moving all the time, standing up all day. But I gained weight. I was working long hours on my feet in all sorts of weather. I'm sure you can all relate to that. You're out there, in the literal rain, 45-degree heat, it doesn't matter. And I was traveling a lot. So I realized that long-term, I wasn't going to be able to sustain this, and I wasn't willing to go back to my corporate career. So I was kind of pretty frightened, to be honest. I thought I knew a lot about nutrition. I thought I knew about how to keep my body clean. I tried a lot of detoxes, and I tried organ cleanses, and I did get results, I won't lie, but I often found myself feeling like I had just deprived my body for a week or 10 days, and it just didn't really feel that good. So, and I also had recognized that my previous strategies really weren't working. It was time to take some action. So here's my second, that's my side on shot. Still not perfect, but getting there. So everyone's different and they have different results. But for me personally, it was day one, it was hour 3 when I noticed the difference. So I started my day as the little schedule told me to. I had my tonic, had my smoothie, my superfood smoothie, I took my supplements, and I went off to my first client. I arrived there at like 8 a.m. and by the time I got there, I was just feeling this surge of energy that I hadn't felt since I was a kid. And not only that, I was really, really happy. So I was sort of like, was that the products, or did something, maybe like something else has happened this morning that's making me feel really fantastic? And literally that just grew and grew. So I remember going home to my husband and that evening saying to him, there's something illegal in these products. There's something we need to check out the ingredients, because it's like there must be something artificial in here, because I have so much energy. So we sat down, went through the ingredients. I Googled everyone I didn't understand, and I discovered that actually they were beautiful, clean products full of botanicals. So by day 10, I noticed that I didn't have such a big muffin top, which was cool. And my sleep had improved. And then by day 20, I actually needed a belt, which was kind of exciting. By day 30, I actually got into a pair of my sister's jeans, which was awesome for me, not so much for her. But I'd lost 6 kilos and I just felt the best I ever had. So the coolest part about my before and after and about my story, and it's definitely a little bit woo-woo, but bear with me, was that I noticed that suddenly the horses I was working on were a lot quieter. Now that might sound ridiculous to you, but I really believe that horses are our mirror and they reflect back exactly what we are. And so when I noticed this, I noticed the horses that normally needed cross ties didn't. And the horses that were normally kicking and biting weren't anymore. I sort of had to take a look at, hey, maybe it's because I've cleaned myself up, I'm more grounded, and I'm becoming a better horsewoman. Okay, so here's how this program's going to work. We're going to put all the good stuff in, take the bad stuff out, and then provide our bodies with stress and aging support. And I think that that's really what is so beautiful about isogenics and nutritional cleansing, is that it's synergistic. So we're not just looking at, okay, you want to lose weight, let's cut some calories and let's get you exercising. It's a whole system approach, and it's really unique in that way. Okay, so I love this slide. I think it's awesome. So I was a really avid believer in just eat clean. Just eat clean. You can get everything you need from your food. And yeah, I wasn't a fan of supplements. I thought it was just expensive and I just really wasn't a fan. I thought it was a total waste of money. But since then, I've actually learnt that the nutritional value in our food these days is just not even a millionth of what it used to be. So this slide shows you, it was a study done by the UCLA, and it shows that the nutritional content of a bowl of spinach in 1953 was, one bowl was enough to give a woman her iron intake that she needed each day. Fast forward to 1997, and now you need 43 bowls of spinach to do the same thing. So, I mean, I'd love to know what those figures look like now. But yeah, it's just interesting to think that, you know, I used to think if I just ate organic and clean and biodynamic that was enough, but in fact it's really not. And I think that that's showing through the fact that I speak to women every day that are doing just this. They're eating clean, but they're tired, or they have some weight loss that they can't get those last few kilos gone. Their sleep's not good. So here's how it works. We put the good stuff in. So up the top, you're going to see on the top left the isogenics shake, or superfood smoothie, I like to call it, because I think of shake and I think of pharmacies and I think of dieting, and it just makes me want to run a mile. But this is really something quite different, and I would encourage you, if you have qualms about shakes, to actually take a look into this one and what makes it so different from anything else in the market. So it's made from undenatured whey from happy cows in New Zealand, which is important. And there's no soy, no gluten, no fillers. It's jam-packed full of minerals, probiotics, prebiotics, you name it, and it tastes really, really good. There's a few different flavors. There's also a dairy-free option with pea and brown rice protein. And so we have those twice a day. So we swap out a couple of meals. If you're a girl that skips breakfast, then I will be encouraging you to replace your non-breakfast with one of these. And despite some women get a bit frightened, especially, you know, working in these industries that we do, that it's not going to be quite enough for them, it won't fill them up. My husband is a tradesman and he works harder than anyone I know, and this shake fills him up. And then we've got, of course, the beautiful essentials that come with the program as well. And there's been some interesting studies done on the absorption of the body of this multivitamin, and it's insane. The body actually uptakes this multivitamin. It doesn't just sit there in your tummy doing nothing. And then we're also eating throughout our program as well. So this is not about starving yourself. And I always say, if you're hungry on this program, then you're doing it wrong. So down the bottom there's some lovely, clean, beautiful meals that you can have. You choose whether you want to do lunch or dinner. And then we've got our greens down the bottom there. So if you need a little bit of extra support, if you're not good at getting fruit and veg into your body, then I always encourage that you give greens a go. Okay, so that's the first part of the program. The second part is getting the bad stuff out. Now, I think this is something that a lot of programs that are out there that you may have tried really doesn't address. So 1 day a week, we do what's known as intermittent fasting. So we give our digestive system a really good break, and we drink this beautiful, you can see it on the left, there's like a raspberry berry drink called Cleanse for Life, and we're drinking that throughout the day. What you will find is that all the herbs and the makeup of this beautifully scientifically put together drink means that you're actually not feeling hungry all day. It means that your body's supported through any cravings that you might have, and it just cleanses and gently flushes your body out of all the impurities. And we're also snacking on some little chocolates, sort of Scooby snacks throughout the day as well. So you're keeping your chromium levels up, and you're keeping just a little bit of nutrition going through your body, but not enough to kickstart your digestive system. And then on the right there, we've got a product that's called Isoflush. And so it's really, again, it's about helping the impurities get out. If you look at the label, you'll find there's black walnut, there's peppermint, there's magnesium. It's just beautiful stuff. Okay. And then we have, stress support. So I can't take your stress away, and God knows you probably have a lot of it if you're on here and I've spoken to you. But what I can do is show you these products that help you to cope with stress. So on the left is probably one of my favorite products. It's called Ionix, and it's packed full of adaptogen herbs. I know we have some Chinese medicine practitioners on here, some equine acupuncturists, so you guys probably know what I'm talking about. For anyone who doesn't, adaptogens are these amazing class of herbs that go into your body, they scan what you're doing, and they adapt to the stress of that. So if you're trying to sleep, for example, you're trying to get to sleep and you can't, and you have a little shot of this, it'll help you sleep. If you're waking up and you need a little boost of energy, you can have a shot of this and it'll give you some extra energy. I use this for study. I use this when I'm going to have a big day. It's something that I just always have on hand. And then in the middle there is a product called Ageless Active. So it's got coenzyme Q10, and that generates energy within cells. So this is actually a really good vitamin for energy. It's got resveratrol, so it's going to support cardiovascular health. Very important for riders, very important for anyone who's got a physically demanding job. And it's got D3, which helps to maintain a healthy immune system. And then on the right there is a superstar product. It's called Isogenesis. And you probably noticed there's quite a fad of using turmeric, and a lot of us feed it to our horses. Well, this has got a really potent dose of turmeric in it. And it also has 25 minerals, like 25. Can you wrap your head around the fact that there's 25 minerals in this one little capsule? And so it's designed to reduce oxidative stress. So I heard this described by someone as the stress that's going to take you off the planet quicker than anything else. So it's your aging support, and it's phenomenal. I won't go a day without putting all of these products in my body. So obviously, it's great to hear my story. It's great to hear me talk about the products, but I would love to invite a beautiful woman on the line who's been using the system for a few years. Her name is Anna.
Hello, everybody. Yes, thank you, Fee. I'm so honoured and excited to be on tonight. And even though I'm not a horsey chick, I'm so madly passionate about these products and getting them into every single body. So I just really wanted to speak to tonight being that I never did this for weight loss. I absolutely did this for energy and performance and really just feelings of well-being, as broad as that sounds. But I was the cleanest eating fitness maniac girl that you could imagine. And yet I still looked like the girl on the left. And I also want to say though, I didn't think there was anything wrong with her I'm speaking about myself in third person, but I was proud of my results for how much I killed myself ultimately, but the biggest thing that frustrated me was I just didn't feel well. And that's what I'm a real ambassador for. So it's all well and good to look good, but if we don't feel well, we have nothing. So I actually was the weirdo that set out to find a cleanse. I knew that if I was controlling everything on the outside, so what I ate, I was eating really clean, I was training a lot, I was doing green smoothies, all the vitamins, apple cider vinegar, anything that you can think of I was doing. And yet I still had poor skin health, pretty bad concentration, poor mental clarity, cravings that controlled me, poor immune system, low energy, really bad sleep. And I know it sounds quite dramatic and you might be like, oh, I don't have all that. But if you actually just took an honest stock take of your life, most days if you have a bit of gut disharmony or, breakouts, or you've gotten 8 hours of sleep that night but wake up still tired, that's how I was. So I was really lucky because I basically didn't want to accept that as normal. So that's, like I said, so went out, found a cleanse, found it in my beautiful friend Peter, and that was 3.5 years ago. And ever since putting the products in my body, you can see my day 30 result. So even from a girl who was doing everything right, the fact that I could still have gotten physical results, right? So results that you can obviously see. Again, I honor the woman on the left. I do. I think she still looked great. But I 2.0'd myself. I did. But that meant jack to me. What really excited me was how I felt. And my skin, so how I felt was my skin health improved, my digestion harmonized. It was like the best it's ever been. That alone, I was like, I'm on this for life. My sleep improved. That's really what got my husband on board. My energy increased. But the biggest thing about that was it was sustained energy. I'd sleep through the night, so same amount of sleep, but I actually woke up feeling energized. So when I was going to the gym at the same time, I felt great, and that people were like, what are you on? So yeah, that, like I said, 3.5 years, and truly over the past 3.5 years, I've not only maintained those results with ease and conveniently, which are the biggest things for me, which Fee touched on, but I've also gotten better. So I've gotten even fitter, even leaner, even stronger, even healthier, and even happier. So I am such an ambassador for these products, and I love them madly. So thanks for having me on, Fee.
Thank you so much, Anna. And, the thing that I love so much about your story is that, your life is so active. And so I think that a lot of the women that are on here now can, the level of activity that you have, like if you were a horsewoman, you'd be like totally rocking it. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
And so now I'm going to invite in a beautiful friend of mine, and her name is Tanya Turner, and she's going to share her story of the products.
Hey guys, I haven't seen those photos before, so that's on a computer screen, so that's pretty pretty impressive, I think. So before Isogenics, I was carrying, obviously on the left, a lot more weight than I was hoping or liking. I also lacked my spunk in terms of energy. I lay awake at night. I'd wake up several times through the night, and I felt like Dorothy from Wizard of the Oz. I was just spiraling. My mind was I was like in a tornado. This year I went to the Stockhorse Nationals. I was really happy that I was able to compete there with my amazing horse, Mr. Red. And we did really well, exceeded our expectations totally. So I was on a high. And then a couple of weeks later, the magazine came out and I was in there, which I was really sort of, pretty impressed about. But the picture I saw wasn't who I really wanted to be. I sort of felt like I was this blimp on a big horse. So that really hit home for me. So I was introduced to Isogenics by Fiona, and I started Isogenics on the 9th of June. And since then, I've been able to lose over 8 kilos. I haven't really weighed myself recently, but yeah, last count was over 8 kilos. One of the important things for my horse riding was that I was able to lose that weight, and I was able to exercise a lot more conveniently, and my core strength went exponentially. And as we all know, horse girls, we need to use our legs, and I had so much more leg strength. When my dressage coach said legs on, my legs were on. So I'm now sleeping like a baby. So Dorothy is gone in my head and there's no tornado. I can, even if I wake up, if the kids wake me up or some noise, I can sort it and then go straight back to sleep. So I'm hoping to go to the next Stock Horse Nationals in March, and I am going to see photos that I'm so proud of that I'm going to want to put on the wall with my ribbons. So yeah, I'm really happy to be on this amazing journey with Isogenics, and I've loved it. Absolutely, totally, 100% loved it. So thanks, Fee. Thanks for asking me on the call tonight.
Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful story. And I remember you saying one other thing, Tanya, about how the idea of ever learning a dressage test and like actually memorizing it with all the other stuff in your head before was so overwhelming, but now it's like, yep, no problems.
Yeah, that's for sure. Any of those tests, I used to panic attack. But that's now, really cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. So how do you get started? Okay, first off, we jump on the phone and we chat one-on-one because everyone's different. There's not going to be two people on this call that have the same goals. And while this system works for a whole heap of different goals, how we're going to use it and the pack you're going to get started on is going to be individual to you. So we're going to chat about your goals, where you're at now, where you want to be, and also about your budget, because I know as horsewomen that's also something that we need to consider. And then we pick the best option for you. Then as a group, we're starting Wednesday the 2nd of November, which is in 1 week. And it's cleverly scheduled for the day after Melbourne Cup. So if you are in the racing industry, fear not, you can still celebrate. And so some of the extra stuff that you're going to get as part of this, and what I think makes this really quite a unique opportunity over just going off and doing it, independently, is that we're all going to be doing this together. So you're going to have a heap of horsewomen all in the same space, sharing their journey, sharing their ups and downs. You're probably going to make new friends. So we're going to have a private Facebook group. And while this is like 100% optional, your participation with, obviously if you have a huge schedule and it's not doable for you, then this part might have to drop for you. But I'm really hoping to see everyone interacting in this space and, helping to carry everyone along this amazing journey. Then, of course, you're going to get one-on-one coaching and support. So depending on who got you on this webinar tonight, they'll be the person that coaches and supports you through this journey. And so then we're going to be having weekly webinars, and I've lined up some pretty exciting guests from a naturopath through to some fitness professionals and just people who are going to be able to offer some insight into the process that you're going through with nutritional cleansing. And you can, on those webinars, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions, provide comments, so it'll be very, very interactive and connected. And now down the bottom on where it says weekly webinar, that should say meals and snack options. So, we give you ideas for the sort of clean meals that you might want to be popping into your diet if you need help with that. A lot of the horsewomen that I speak to, their diet is like they don't have vegetables. They don't, they're having like a crumpet for breakfast. So we can help you with that as well. So now after your first 30 days, a lot of people kind of go, well, what then? You're just going to leave me, my new fantastic feeling body? No, not at all. After the first 30 days, you decide. And you decide that with whoever's introduced you to this program. So if you're working with me, we'll sit down together, in your third or fourth week, and we'll look at, okay, where are you at with your goals? How are you feeling? How are you enjoying the program? So there you can decide if you want to move on to a maintenance program. Most people do, purely because they've never felt this good in their life. So they're like, I want to continue. And that will, again, it depends on your budget. It depends on what products you fall in love with. And secondly, you may decide that, yes, you really love these products, but you know what, I'd really like to get them paid for. So that's another option that we can talk about. It's certainly what myself and Tanya do, and Anna, and it's such a beautiful benefit of this program is that money doesn't go into advertising. It goes into its associates. So if you decide that you're completely head over heels in love and can't imagine going a day without these products, then we can talk about that too. And finally, if of course you think this whole program has been a joke and you didn't enjoy yourself and you didn't make any friends and you didn't get your results, or even if you just didn't get results and you made some friends, we can offer you a 30-day money back guarantee. So you can hand over your money for your pack. If you're not happy at the end, we'll give you a refund. So I feel like that really offers you the opportunity to try this program without any risk really attached to it. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And so finally, I just wanted to leave you with this quote and a photo of my beautiful Arabian horse Tundra, which is, if not this, then what? And if not now, then when? So if you've jumped on this webinar or I've sent you this link to the webinar, it's because you've told me that, yeah, things aren't going so great for you health-wise. So it may be that your energy's lacking. It might be your sleep. It might be your weight. It could be you just want to make sure you're getting the right nutrition in your body. So whatever it is, if you're not going to, go with this program, that's completely fine. But what are you going to do? Take a step, towards improving your health. And my main motivation for really wanting to do this, aside from, obviously working with horsewomen all the time, is I know that you cleaning up your own health and well-being is going to have an impact on your relationship with horses. I know it because I've experienced it and I've seen it in other horsewomen. So I encourage you, if you're interested in talking more, let's have a chat and or chat to the person who got you onto this webinar. And thank you so much once again for joining me on a Wednesday night when you could have been doing 100 other things. And have a beautiful evening.